Alright everybody, welcome back to the Cardman's Cards. I am the Cardman, as well, I do hope you know. If not, well, welcome. I am the Cardman. As you can see, I have a deck in my hand, because today we're going to do, well, let's say, do another deck profile. Granted, this is the first one I've done, so we're going to do a deck profile, I should say. And you probably just recently seen the video, so it's kind of obvious. It is going to be the new structure deck build of this is the 3-card budget build. I do plan later on to do a more like the best build possible kind of thing. Granted, it's not gonna be super duper full power build of the deck and everything. But this is just 3-card budget. Not 3-card budget. 3 deck budget, like the 3 structure decks just put together. And a couple of odds and ends, a couple of things are here. They're pretty inexpensive. Alright, so I guess you don't want to hear me ramble, so let's get started. You run 1 Cyberdark Horn, if you can't see it. We'll just boop. Cyberdark Horn. Him and all the other main Cyberdark monsters, all the machine ones I should say, all have the effect of when they're normal summoned, target 1 level 3 dragon monster or lower in your grave, equip it, and it gains attack equal to the attack of the monster. In addition to that, Horn gets the added effect of when he attacks the defense mission monster, he does piercing. And all of the main 3 Cyberdark monsters, Horn, Keel, and Edge, all have the effect of when they're destroyed, I think it's mainly by battle. Yeah, by battle, the equipped monster is destroyed instead. And then you have Edge, which granted has the same effect as when normal summon, target a level 3 or lower dragon, equip it. But Edge can cut its attack in half and attack directly. So that's what Edge effect does. And then you have Keel, which is same effect, target a dragon, blah, blah, blah. But its secondary effect is that it can... Oh, God, I don't remember Keel's. When you deal damage, your opponent takes 300. So it's a bit of burn. It's not the best. Overall, your best one's probably Edge or Horn. It's just in case, like, your opponent's playing defensive. Let's hit for some piercing, or... your opponent has a big board, let's swing past it. So those are the main Cyberdark monsters. You only run 1 of each, because mainly you just want to put them in grave and then use them for fusion material, really. There's no real need for multiple. Let's move on to the next one. We have 2 Chimera here. Actually, let me fix these so they are actually, seeable here. 2 Chimera. Really good card. It just allows you to discard spell or trap, add power bond, and then whenever this card is sent from the field to the grave, send another Cyberdark. So normally you want to link this away or send it with Cybernetic Horizon to send one of these guys to get it in the grave. You only need 2. 3 would be a little much because it's searchable. There's a bunch of cards in the deck that add cards, so it's pretty searchable. So yeah, 2 is a good number. Then we have one of the searchers themselves, 2 Cyberdark Cannon. Cannon is a weird one because it technically has a couple effects. Its main effect is you can discard it to search a Cyberdark monster, but it also gets an additional effect of when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, attached to a monster, you draw a card. And it also has another effect. During damage calculation of a monster that is equipped with just battles, you can send 1 monster from the deck to the grave. So it's a foolish. So it's a good effect. You mainly just use it for monster search, but that's about it. It's still a good overall card. Then you have 3 Cyberdark Claw. Claw is your best friend. You're going to want to see this card as much as possible, using it as much as possible. Granted, it's once per turn. It's a hard once per turn. But basically, it's like Cannon. You discard it to add a Cyberdark spell or trap. It also has different effects as well, where I do believe one of them is when this card equipped to a monster attacks and destroys a monster, you send 1 from the extra. It's an extra Foolish Burial. In addition to during damage calc. Oh no, I did read that effect. What effect does he have multiple? Oh, no, that's his main effect. What's your main effect? I don't know. Oh, it adds cards back. Okay, that's what it is. Interesting. Yeah, it's just your main searcher, your main playmaker. It gets your plays going. It's just useful. You really can't make Cyberdark by itself, you have to run Cyber Dragon cards. So you run, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You run 6. You run 6 Cyber Dragon. There's not a whole lot, but there's a few. Mainly just to get cards. And the main one you really run is Cyber Dragon Core. It is your searcher. It basically searches all your spells and things because it's just overall good. Basically, if it's a spell and it has cyber in the name, Core will get it for you. Horizon, Realm, everything like that under the sun, they'll get it for you. So you basically want to open this and Cybernetic Horizon or this and Claw or a combination. Like normally, your majority of your hands are 2-card combos to basically getting the combination you need. One Cyber Dragon. It's Cyber Dragon. It's pretty self-explanatory. Opponent controls a monster, you don't. Special summon a card. 1 hurts, which some people might think, oh, that's a little low. You need more hurts. No, not really. You're mainly just using hurts to add your Cyber Dragon. So if you're forced to go second, you can use your Cyber Dragon as a monster to summon it to link away into your Seeker or whatever link to you're using at this point. Seeker is just a common one because it's just a Cyber Dragon and then any other monster. Just to add to get a free body on board, just a good card. And then to round out the Cyber Dragons, you have Cyber Dragon Nashter, which is also some people are like, oh, you should play more Nashter or whatever. It's fine. It's a good one of. It's a one of that can bump up to 2, but 2 might be a little much. It basically allows you to discard one other monster card and special summon itself. And then when on special or normal summon, you can target a monster with 21 attack or defense and special summon it, which happens to be some of your big guys, which includes Cyber Dragon and then Cyber Dark Chimera, which are your both combos. So like, say your opponent negates you, if you have Nashter, you can just go back into that card and then still go full combo. And then we're going to run some other odds and ends, the techie cards, I guess you want to call it. Let me slide some of this over just to give me a little bit of myself more room. You run Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. You really don't get into this card as often as you want because you're normally forced to have to use Cybernetic Horizon to get full combo, which is understandable. But if you can get the Buster Lock going, it's helpful because when this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent just locked out of their extra deck. It's basically Domain on an equip spell. You don't know what Domain does, basically. Not basically, I know what it does. Is if you control attributed monster and your opponent does not control attributed monster, your opponent cannot touch the extra deck. It just shuts off extra deck, which is annoying. And then you would, I don't say you don't have to, but you can run 2 Attachment Cyburn, which are just good cards to equip to monsters. So like, oh, I have a Cyber Darkness on the field, I'll throw that on there because it's just target equip. And when this card is destroyed or sent, you can special summon or send back, of course, one of your Cyber Dragon machine or dragon monsters, right? I think it's just Dragon or Machine, Cyber Monsters, and add it back or special summon it. So it's a good just recover card. It helps you get your things back and extend your board a little more. That's all the monsters in the main deck. Granted, there's going to be special extra deck monsters, but that's all the main monsters in the extra deck. You could run other variations. Like I've seen builds running 2 of all of these, 3 of this, or 1 of him, 2 of this, or more of anything else. This is just kind of a generic build. You can use this to do whatever. You can even run other cards. You could not even make this Cyber Dark. You can make this more Cyber Dragon by using just Chimera as your focus. Because with this deck, you basically can do that. If you picked up 3 of these, you can mainly make a half-decent Cyber Dragon deck in the process. So yeah, that's all the monsters. Let's move on to the spells. And first off, we're going to talk about one of the best spells in the new cards, Cybernetic Horizon, which, if you're not sure what it does, it allows you to discard 2 cards, not discard, but send 2 cards, 1 from the hand, 1 from the deck, 1 dragon or machine, doesn't matter, but they have to be from 2 different locations and 2 different attributes. So 1 has to be light, 1 has to be dark, and then 1 has to be, and then whatever, doesn't matter where you send it, like, you can send the dark from hand or light from hand, doesn't matter. As long as they're one's from hand, one's from deck, and they're 2 different attributes. That's all that matters. And when you do, you can add just any cyber machine dragon monster you want. You want to add cyber dark cannon? Go right ahead. Which is nice. It allows you to add cards you need. And then you can also use it for sending your cyber dragon ends to the graveyard. Which, when this card resolves, it sends one in addition to its main effect, which is helpful, allowing you to go into cyber dark end dragon. So yeah, it's a good one. Then you have probably the best card in the structure deck that's ever been printed. Is Cyber Dark Realm. When this card is activated, you can add a Cyber Dark monster that's not in the graveyard, of course, that a different name of the cards in the graveyard, to the hand. So it allows you to search cards you need. So like say, for example, you activate Claw, you add Realm, boom, you have Cannon, and then as long as you have a normal summon for the turn, let's grant a Cyber Dragon normal summon, which you hopefully should, or even if not, you just have another normal summon, like for like a horn or something, you can go into Whelp and go into Chimera, which is really good. It basically just gives you a free summon. Then you have Cyber Dark Inferno, which is the field spell. The more powerful build doesn't really run it because it is protection, but it's just kind of clogs a little bit. It's good. I'm not sure what all this effect does. Cyber Dark effect monsters you control that equipped with equipped cards cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effect. All your opponent cannot target them with card effects. Target one Cyber Dark monster you control, return it to the hand. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Cyber Dark monster. You can use the effect of Cyber Dark Inferno once per turn. This card is in your control, and you're destroyed by opponent's card effect. You can add one Polymerization spell or Fusion spell from the deck to the hand. So yeah, it's a good effect. It's a one of. You really don't need much more of it. If you see it, you do. If you don't, it's not a big deal. You're running 2 Power Bond just for the fact that you want to see it as much as possible. Or search it, because you can discard Power Bond for Power Bond off a Chimera effect. So you really don't want to see multiple in the same turn. You really want to see one to use it and then see the other off a Chimera. It's just a good effect. When you activate it, special summon a Fusion monster from Machine Fusion in the extra deck, and then when you do, double its attack, and then you take the attack that you boosted as damage. So say you boost a 2k, you take 2k as damage because it go into 4k. You run 2 Overload Fusion, which basically is Polymerization, but from the grave. But it's for Dark Machine Fusion monsters only, which is fine because it's Cyber Dark. They're fine. They don't care. And when you do, they send Banish from grave instead of sending from field, which helps because a lot of the time you're getting cards in the grave than you are on the field. So I'm not super concerned about that. And then your searcher cards, you run 3 Cyber Emergency, which just searches the Light Machine monster that can't be normal summon set, or just a Cyber Dragon outright. It's not the only deck you played in, but it's really helpful searching out your cores and things like that. You run one Cyber Internal, which is a quick play which allows you to target one Machine Cyber Fusion monster in the grave, return it to the extra deck or special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. Machine and Cyber Monster Fusion summoned you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only activate each effect of Cyber Eternal once per turn. It's really good. I could see maybe running 2 of it if you wanted to drop the overload down by 1. Just running as a 1 of, because you really don't need a lot of it, because you run enough cards to see the fusions as well. It just helps you get the big card, the big guy back out. If he ever leaves the field, of course, which is going to be very difficult. Alright, that is the spells. Let's move to the traps. And we're going to run 2 Cyber Dark Invasion. You can run 3 of this, but just for the overall space, I prefer 2. Because it's a good effect, and it's a continuous trap, so you really don't need to see it multiple times. And what it does is, once per turn, you can activate one of the effects. Target one Cyber Dragon monster you control. Equip one Dragon or Machine monster from either grave to it as an equip spell. And it gains 1,000 attack. So it just gives you more attacks and it gives you boosts overall. Or you can send one equip card you control from a Machine or Dragon monster. A Machine monster to the graveyard. No, just Machine, not Dragon. My bad. To the graveyard, destroy one card your opponent controls. You can only use each effect of Cyber Dark Invasion once per turn. So granted, you could technically use both because technically it is soft on that effect, but they're both hard effects. So this is kind of a little weird because like technically you can only use one of this, but you can use both effects once per turn. Then we're definitely playing 2 Paleozoic Canadia, which is just a trap version of Book of Moon. It's just your opponent plays a monster, activates effect. Say like they're playing a deck that you know wants to link, activate Canadia, they can't link with it. It kind of shuts them down. Just target one monster your opponent controls, flip it face down, and then once per chain, if you activate another trap, special summon it as a level 2 Aqua Monster, 12-0. Treat it as a monster that time, not as a trap. When it leaves the field, banish it. And then, yes, of course, it comes in the structure deck. Everyone's, I guarantee, wondering where it's at. 3 Imperm. If you don't know what Infinite Impermanence does, well, one, it has Cyber Dragon. I think it's Infinity, or it's one of the Cyber Dragon XC monsters. You can negate a monster effect. In addition to, if you control no monsters, you use it as a hand trap. It becomes a literal hand trap. And if it's activated while it's set, the entire column that it's in is negated. So anything played after itself in that column, it just doesn't work. Move these up so you can see them a little bit better. So say like your opponent activates a card in the same column another card this was activated in, it just doesn't work. So it just shuts it off. Which is really helpful against certain decks that like to play a lot of spells and traps. So you can legit set this in a column that you know where one is that you don't want to be activated, and just negate it. That is all the traps. You could run more of the Canadia or the other one of Cyberdark Invasion, but you really don't need to. I think 2/2 is good. I could see you running 3/2/3, 3 Cyberdark Invasion, 2 Canadia, and then 3 Imperm, of course. Just because it's good. But other than that, yeah, Also, if I don't understand why you wouldn't. If you just buy the structure deck, you're guaranteed Imperm. But if you can't get Imperm, you can just throw whatever hand trap you like in there. In the final build, you run more hand traps. You run technically 10 because you run Ash, Ghost Bell, and then 3 Imperm or Veiler, and then Called, of course. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, other than that, let's move on to the extra deck. Now we're gonna start with the Link monsters, which is gonna be like a little odd. But yeah, we'll start with the Link monsters. First will be Protection Whelp of the Destruction Swords. I think it's Swordsman. Yeah, Swordsman. Just getting your main card, your Buster Lock active, basically. If this card is Link Summon, you can send one Destruction Sword card from the deck to the grave. Then you can special summon one Buster Blader from the hand. Basically, the only thing you're really using it for is to send the card. Other than that, it's just a Link 2. If you need a Link 2, there you go. You're running 1 Seeger. You could bump this up if you really needed it, or take it out completely. If you're running other Links, like Phoenix or anything like that, or IP or anything that's just vanillas, and just require 2 monsters as your Link card. Seeker is just good because it's in deck Cyber Dragon card. It helps. Seeker, if you don't know, once per turn during the battle phase, if this card has an attack, you can target 1 machine monster you control. It gains 2100 attack. For the budget build, I would recommend 3 Chimera Tech Overdragon, just because it's gonna help you get through boards, because it has multiple attacks and things through many things. Swings frequently and has a lot of attack if fusioned with a lot of material. Like, as long as you use, let's say, 4 material, 800, 8 times 4 is 16? It goes to 16. If you're using Power Bond, that 16 goes to 32. So 32, as many times as 4 times against monsters, that's not bad. Only 2 Cyber Dragon End, just because you mainly just use it as, well, a card in the extra in the grave. You really don't summon it, really. It's just 4K beater, does piercing. That's about the gist. 2 Cyber Dark Dragon, just because you really don't use him. He's there just to fill up the extra deck until you get better cards. Just whenever he's summoned, you target a dragon, equip it to himself, and he gains attack. And then he gains 100 attack for each monster in the graveyard. And then if you destroy him instead, you destroy the equipped monster instead. 3 Cyber Darkness, just is because this is the combo card you use to go into your Cyber Dark End Dragon. Just because he will equip the Cyber End Dragon. Sorry, Cyber End Dragon, my bad. To go into the big boss monster. And then, this is mainly just for space. You run 3 Cyber Dark End Dragon, which is your main big in-deck boss monster. He's a pain. He's a 5k basically towers monster to where he's Ultimate Falcon in addition to where he can swing multiple times in a turn, and it's just obnoxious. And he's recurable too, which is the funny part. Your opponent like kaijus them or something on their turn, you can just use Eternal Cyber, which is searchable because it has Cyber in the name, to get him back out, which is hilarious to me. So yeah, that's the extra deck. Some of these cards I could see changing or whatever. This is not gonna be the final build, of course. Like in the final build, I could see maybe 2 of him at most. Definitely recommended extra deck options would be like what do I think here? Link Karibo, just to remove some of the cards you don't need off of the board, like your cores, your Hertzes, and stuff like that. Mirage just for protection. Definitely be running Chimera Tech Fortress and Mega Fleet, just for the fact that they take monsters. So your opponent, say your opponent's playing a deck, or you kaiju them, or however you want to do it, you can just gobble monsters to make it. It's just a contact fuse to get monsters off board, so you can legit play it just to play it, so you don't have to run a Link monster if you really don't want to. And the Mega Fleet uses Link monsters, so as long as you control a Cyber Dragon monster, you can use a Link monster your opponent controls and just get rid of it. So like you say your opponent has Appaloosa, and you don't have nothing to do it, so you just summon Cyber Dragon from the hand, you just contact their Appaloosa and your Cyber Dragon just to get rid of it, to go into Mega Fleet. And he gains 12 for each material, and Fortress gains 1,000 for each material. And then I would also recommend Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, just because he's normally played in Cyber Dragon Standard, but normally you would want to run 2 in Cyber Dragon, just because it's a good card. In this one, I just run 1, just because he's meant to close games, and you really don't need to worry about the overall just attack power of the monsters, because you are running the end. You're running cards to where you're smacking through stuff pretty easily. Some other options are Elder Entity. I think it's Norton. I think that's what it is. I think that's what Norton is. It's the one that when it's sent from extra deck to grave, you blow up a card. You run 2 of it. It's a good card because it just gets rid of problematic things on the board. Just to blow up, like, oh, I activate Cybernetic Horizon. I don't need the end because it's already there. I blow up a card. You can run a Cyber Dragon. I think it's a Cyber Dragon fusion. Cyber Dragon Eternity Dragon or something like that. It's the other Cyber Dragon fusion. It's the one most people don't play. I could say was one of, just because you can banish it to protect all your cards on the field. Give yourself some protection with the deck. And then I would also recommend, if you can, definitely using, you can because they're pretty inexpensive, using Phoenix and Unicorn as just extra Link monsters, just get rid of stuff, because Unicorn spins things, and then Phoenix blows up spells and traps. They're just good all around extra deck cards. Other than that, I really can't think of much else. There's a few other odds and ends here and there, like I said, you could pick up 3 of these and make a pretty decent Cyber Dragon build. You could make a Cyber Style build, which kind of focuses on both of them. Granted, you'd have to pick up Nova's Infinities then. And I could see, even if you really wanted to, you could pick up them now and put them in here too. That would help as well. There's all kinds of stuff you could choose, but this is just a general idea. This is just a 3 structure deck budget variation. I will definitely be making the better variation with the full extra deck and a full actual deck list later on down the road. But for now, this is the deck. Definitely will be changing soon once I pick up other cards and better cards. Like, this extra deck is, right now. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Other than that, I do believe that's everything. I'm really excited to play this deck. I'm really glad it got remade. Got new support, I should say. Because Cyber Dark is one of the archetypes I really enjoy. Cyber Dragon is really dope. And yeah, I know, it probably frustrates the hell out of you. I'm shuffling the deck right now. But I plan to do some test hands later on. So if I had more time, I would definitely do combos. I might do another separate combo video. Like soon-ish, if I get the time. But yeah. This has been the Card Man. And this was a Cyber Strike structure deck, 3-card budget build. This is more mainly focusing on the Cyber Dark aspect of the deck. You can mainly focus on the Cyber Dragon one, just using the Cyber Dark cards as an engine, really. I'm curious how that would work. I don't know. But you could. But till next time, this has been the Card Man. I hope you enjoyed anything you saw. If you did, be more welcome to like, comment, subscribe, all the 9 yards, whatever how YouTube works at this point. And if you do enjoy it, please watch some more of my videos. There's plenty there. I think there's, I want to say 8 or 9 there, and there's plenty more to come out in the near future. And just thank you for everyone watching, and see you next time. Keep collecting, and bye.